Hello, if you are an action taker, then you are my kind of person. I have always been an action taker, just like I've always been a lifelong learner. The trouble is that at one point in my life, I was taking so much action in the wrong places that I ended up burning out. But I did learn, and subsequent to that, I've actually realized that there are three action taking traps that people very commonly fall into. So I want to share those with you today, and you may find that you're already sitting inside at least one of them. My name is Fiona Spence. I'm a rapid results mindset coach, and I'll explain later on exactly what that is. But for now, let's take a look at those three traps. The first action taker trap is where you feel like you are a whirlwind of activity, but you're very time poor. You're doing so much, but the problem is you're possibly or very likely putting all your activity in the wrong places. You're avoiding that one thing that you really need to do. And this will often come out as a form of procrastination. So if you're a procrastinator, you're really busy, but you know that you're avoiding the key point, then this is a trap that you've already fallen into. Perfectionists are fantastic at falling into this trap. They're very, very busy trying to perfect everything they do, making it absolutely just right. And of course, what they're really doing is procrastinating. The second trap that you might have experienced is where you are running around in circles and chasing your tail. You may feel like you're not really clear on what it is that you want. Perhaps you don't have a vision of where you're going to. And in fact, very often in these cases, what I hear is a lot of away from language. So I'll explain what I mean by that. Away from behavior is where you know what you don't want. I don't want to be back on the streets. I don't want to be poor again. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to have another bad experience like that one. I don't want another unhealthy relationship. So you're very clear on what you don't want, but you're not actually clear on what you do want. Now, that away from behavior is not sustainable in the long term. It'll lead to one of two things. The first is boredom, and the second is burnout. So what you really need is you need clarity on what it is that you do want. You want to create an ideal future for yourself. And a great starting point I found is to identify your three different value sets and start living to them. The third action taker trap is where you are swimming against the tide. And often I'll hear people talking about things like self-sabotage and self-doubt. Perhaps you feel like you are not really good enough, and so therefore you keep self-sabotaging your own success. Maybe you feel like you don't really deserve to have success. And I found that those unhelpful thoughts often stem from really awful childhood experiences or unhealthy adult relationships and workplace bullying. And I myself have experienced all three and had to come to terms with the learning from them in order to move forward. So there you have the three different traps, and you'll be sitting in them already. If you are procrastinating, if you haven't got clarity on where you're going, perhaps you feel like your future is a big black hole. And if you have self-doubt or you're self-sabotaging, perhaps you suffer from the impostor syndrome. So where does a rapid results mindset coach who does hypnosis come into all of this? Well, I'll take it apart for you. First of all, we want to get rapid results for you. When you want to change, it's important to do little changes. In fact, I've often found that the smallest changes have the biggest impact. So we start small, we make little changes, we get little successes one after the other. It builds your momentum and it builds your motivation as well. But here's the key. We don't stop there. What we are really looking for is transformation. Transformation is where you change to a point you can no longer change back. And that is really where the mindset techniques come into it. And I have always loved mindset. I love neuroscience. I love martial arts and applying the mindset learnings from martial arts to life. And I've also got a lot of business experience too. I took my MBA many, many years ago. I've worked in blue chip, I've worked in the public sector, and of course, I've also worked in small businesses. So I've got a huge amount of experience there. Oh, and I'm a certified trainer. And I'm a hypnotist as well. What more could you want? So if you're concerned that you have already fallen into one of those traps, or you're worried that if you don't slow down and press pause, you might possibly burn out, then please do get in touch with me. I'd love to offer you a free 1-hour press pause for clarity call. Now, I happen to be telephone based, so the great news is that you can be anywhere in the world when you speak to me. As long as it's during Brisbane daylight hours, then I'll be there for you. So please do get in touch. I'll put some information down below this video, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you for watching.